Historically, malicious spirits were blamed for poltergeist activity. According to Allan Kardec, the founder of Spiritism, poltergeists are manifestations of disembodied spirits of low level belonging to the sixth class of the third order. Under this explanation, they are believed to be closely associated with the elements fire, air, water and earth. So you guessed it, on today's menu we have some truly interesting poltergeist cases. Before we start, please help me out by liking and subscribing. Not only that you're helping me that way, but you're also keeping yourself safe from poltergeist attack. Just kidding. Or maybe not. In 2004-2005, there were a series of unusual fires in Canneto di Caronia, Sicily. While popular speculations ascribe the fires to various cases, including an unknown natural phenomenon, paranormal events or secret military technology, an inquiry by a team of scientific experts in 2004 could not identify a plausible cause of the fires. A separate investigation by the Office of Prosecutor in 2008 was closed, stating that the fires were caused by arson, although no person responsible nor possible motive nor method of the arson were named by the prosecutor, and the verdict was directly at odds with the investigation by scientific experts in 2004. Events began on December 23, 2003 at Antonino Pezzino home on Via Mare. Pezzino's television reportedly exploded. Similar malfunctions reportedly affected fuse boxes, air conditioners, kitchen appliances, computer and electronic car door locks. Fires were also said to have struck wedding presents and a piece of furniture. At least one person was said to have observed an unplugged electrical cable ignite while he was directly observing it. On February 9, 2004, two houses on Via Mare burned. In response, Major Spinato issued an order evacuating the 39 residents of Via Mare from their homes to the town's only hotel. The Italian power utility cut power to the town, but fires continued. From January through the March, 92 fires were reported. On February 11, an investigation was announced by the local prosecutor. On March 16, fires resumed, and investigators reportedly witnessed malfunctions in compasses, electronic car locks and cell phones. In April, the government formed an interdisciplinary research group coordinated by Francesco Venerando from the Sicilian Protezione Civile. That team reportedly had widespread cooperation from the nation's army forces, police as well as utilities. Venerando's team reported anomalous electromagnetic activity, unexplained light, and a helicopter that experienced allegedly anomalous rotor damage. Scientists from the National Research Institute, with the support of NASA physicists, were also involved in investigating the events. In June 2004, residents were returned to their homes on Via Mare. Explanations for the events have ranged from the mundane to paranormal. Public speculation attributed the events to poltergeists, demons, UFOs. In 2007, it was proposed that the phenomenon were caused by intermittent electromagnetic emissions. On 24 June 2008, following further investigation by the appointed experts, the case was dismissed by the prosecutor. The conclusion of the prosecutor was that the fires were arson cases, although no responsible person for the arson were named by the prosecutor. Mysterious fires return again in mid-2014. On March 5, 2015, police arrested and charged Giuseppe Pezzino with arson, conspiracy to commit fraud and sounding a false alarm in association with the mysterious fires. His father, Antonino Pezzino, has also been implicated. The Italian military police had installed hidden cameras in the streets after the fire started again in July 2014. Video captured about 40 incidents implicating Giuseppe and occasionally Antonio. Further evidence was gathered by phone taps. Ballechin House was a Georgian estate home near Grand Tully, Petershire, Scotland. It was built in 1806, on the site of an old manor house which has been owned by the Stuart family since the 15th century. In 1834, Major Robert Stuart inherited the house and rented it to tenants while he served in the Indian Army. During his time in India, Stuart came to believe in reincarnation and transmigration. He returned to the house in 1850 and lived there with his many dogs. He is reported to have stated that he would return in the form of a dog. Major Stuart was unmarried, but local gossip linked his name with that of his much younger housekeeper, who died there in 1873. After the Major's death, the house was inherited by his nephew John Skinner, who assumed the name Stuart. Fearing that his uncle would reincarnate in the form of one of his dogs, the new owner reportedly shot them all. From this story came the legend that Robert Stuart was forced to haunt the house as a disembodied spirit. The first reported haunting at the house took place in 1876. The witness was a maid in the house. In 1897, an investigation of the house was organized by John Stuart, 3rd Marquis of Bute, with the assistance of paranormal researchers from the Society for Psychical Research. Ballechin House was known as the most haunted house in Scotland, with several similarities to the Borley rectory haunting, including the alleged apparition of a ghostly nun. The team of investigators from the Society for Psychical Research included Colonel Taylor and the notorious Ada Godrich Freer. In 1899, the alleged haunting of B House by Stuart and Freer was published and serialized in the Times, containing a journal of phenomena kept by Freer. Calendar Ross, who had stayed at the house, stated in the Times that there were no evidence for any supernatural disturbances, and considered the whole investigation to be fraudulent. The SPR later removed material from a volume of their proceedings on the investigation and denounced Freer. Psychical researcher Frederick Myers, who was originally supportive of the investigation, wrote in a letter to the Times he greatly doubted where there was anything supernormal at the house. Trevor Hull revealed that Freer was unreliable investigator, had deceived the SPR, plagiarized material and lied about her own life. Ballechin House was uninhabited by 1932, and the most of the house was demolished in 1963 after a fire, leaving only the former servant quarters and outbuildings. The old rectory in Empford, Lincolnshire, is a Queen Anne-style building rebuilt after a fire in 1709, which has been completely restored, and it's now the property of the British Methodist Church, who maintained it as a museum. It is the site of supposed paranormal events that occurred in 1716 while the Wisely family was living in the house. The rectory was home to the Reverend Samuel Wisely, his wife Susanna, and their 19 children, one of whom, John Wisely, grew up to become a founder of the Methodist Church. The old rectory is managed by a board of trustees appointed by the British Methodist Conference and the World Methodist Council. The current chair of trustees is Reverend Graham Carter, a past president of Methodist Conference. The Epworth Rectory haunting, also known as the Wesley poltergeist, is one of the best-known English poltergeist claims. From December 1716 until January 1717, it is said to have been plagued by a series of occurring mysterious loud noises and knockings, apparently caused by a ghost the eldest Wesley daughter Hetty nicknamed Old Jeffrey, who made his presence known to all on Christmas Day 1716. In Mrs. Wesley's words, there was such a noise in the room over our heads, as if several people were walking then running up and down the stairs, that we thought the children would be frightened. According to the tale, she and her husband searched the house in vain for the culprit. Old Jeffrey continued rattling and thundering in every room, and even blowing an invisible horn at deafening decibels. Old Jeffrey supposedly disappeared in January 1717, just as suddenly as he had appeared. Addington Bruce noted that the earliest records that document the haunting have large discrepancies from the later reports. According to Bruce, the original records from the 18th century reduced the haunting to nothing more than some alleged cracking noises, knocks, footsteps or groaning sounds. Bruce commented that we are therefore justified in believing that in this case, like so many others of this kind, the fallibility of human memory had played an overwhelming part in exaggerating the experiences actually undergone. He suggested that Hetty had produced the phenomena fraudulently. Trevor Hall, in his book New Light on Old Ghosts, 1965, also provided naturalistic explanations for the phenomena at the rectory. So what do you guys think about these cases? Leave your comments down below. If you have any scary stories, true or fictional, creepypasta, legends from your country, anything that fits this channel content, please feel free to send it my way. Emails are on the screen and in the description box. In case you need any copyright-free background videos, be sure to visit my other channel, Monarch Free Videos. You are free to use it any way you like, no need to ask for permission. Once again, thank you for stopping by, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.